We'll see how much time we have today. I just had a small little availability, and I still get lots of emails, people asking lots of questions. So I thought, while I'm making my smoothie, I'll do a Q&A, and then if you guys have questions, I'll do my best to answer them while I'm making basically my breakfast. As you probably guys know, there are a lot of people here these days, as I just rent the room, and so if there's any noise or people start walking in, might have to let you guys go on short notice. But meanwhile, like I said, I can try to answer some of your questions. And you guys can also see some of the routines that I do. I thought I've made kind of enough videos about it. This is what people requested. I did them for quite a while. But basically, I just clean my water in the morning. I follow my hydrogen protocol. And this is ultimately for what we would call ultimate health. And because I've been doing a lot of trial and error throughout the years, a lot actually, and I've really been able to pinpoint and do a lot of things that are really working. And it's funny because I've known other people. In fact, I know some people who are really into their health, and they've been doing a lot of trial and error throughout the years for themselves. And some of these people have been doing it longer than I have, and they actually recently, some of these people have told me, you know what, they're giving up on what they're doing. They're like, I just got to do what you're doing because it's clearly really working real well. And so I'm just making this ultimate smoothie. This smoothie is a way for you to get a lot of nutrients. One of the big questions that I get is in order to clean water, guys, you have to really run through what's called a carbon distiller. And that's if you want to get all viruses out, all bacteria out, all parasites out of the water. You just have to get all this stuff out of the water. And a carbon distiller is the only way. Now, that's great, but the thing is, it gets rid of everything. And that's, in a lot of ways, a good thing. We want everything out of the water. We don't want any chemicals. We don't want any garbage in our water. The only issue with it, which I don't think it's a big issue personally, but a lot of people get concerned about the amount of minerals how are they going to get their minerals? Well, a lot of people don't realize you really get the majority of your minerals from your food. And I found a study, and I had a hunch about it, and turns out, I was right. I'm not trying to chew my own horn or anything, but it turns out that minerals paired with fiber actually allows for much greater absorption. And of course, fiber has all sorts of other crazy benefits. I'm putting some super greens in the smoothie right now. The part that you guys didn't get to see, because I wasn't sure I was going to do a video, is I put my purium powder. My purium powder is kind of foundational just because of the nutrients. It's all from food. I don't take any multivitamins, and yet somehow, magically, I'm not deficient. But that's just because of the purium powder and the vitamin D that I take. I mean, there's just no way to not be deficient if you're not going to what's the word I'm looking for? You can't be not deficient unless you find a way to get these nutrients in you. And I found that, the smoothie's great, and I really like it. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. But it's the powders that have really helped. And like I said, it's just food. The body seems to like food the best. It responds to it well. The human body has been eating food forever, even before us, right? Our ancestors and whatnot. And I think that's why the body responds best to it. And that's why I tried to find a method where I just utilize food to overcome nutritional deficiencies. But most food is deficient, so you need something that's been kind of condensed, which is what the powders are. If you want to see them, you can it's a website called ishoppurium.com. I don't have anything in the description area right now. I just started the video, but I have it on a lot of my other videos. And if you want a really good discount code, they have a really good code that they gave me. And that code is uprising144K, just like the channel. And that really allows you to get a good discount. And their products have absolutely blown my mind. Somebody was telling me, I got to look into this. Somebody was telling me, because I said, how is their produce so clean? I've seen a lot of organic products that get lab tested for pesticides. And, they'll have little traces here and they're way less than the average food that is not organic. So, I mean, the differences are dramatic. So I'll go all organic and put less strain on my kidneys and my liver and my body in general with toxicity that, in my personal opinion, can weaken the body, which is the last thing I need. I do not want my body to be weakened. And so the crazy part is that these purine products, when I saw the lab tests, I'm like, wait a second, how is it possible that they don't have any pesticides? And somebody was informing me, and by the way, don't quote me on this, and I'll never give you any medical advice in my videos, and I'll never make any medical claims. But somebody told me that they grow their own food a certain way, and when I try their products, it's unreal. I know that they're a little more spendy, but their quality is unbelievable. And so it's really, really impressed me. And I realized I don't have chia seeds, which means I'm gonna have to make them on camera for you real quick because I'm gonna want to use them for sure. Okay, we're putting blueberries in for now. One of the things you're gonna notice about all these ingredients that I'm putting in this smoothie is that the majority of them are either anti-parasitic, and I'm really big into anti-parasitics. I do not want parasites in my body. I clean my body regularly. I believe, personally, you'll probably, well, I'll just tell you guys. Personally, I think that parasites cause just a ton of problems. And I believe that the system, for whatever reason, is not being educated properly on them. And somehow I feel like they're trying to hide it from us. But, that's not a claim, just my own personal opinion. Because it used to be something that we did look into. And let me make some hydrogen chia seeds for you guys real quick, just to kind of show you, because I have to get some water here. I gotta make it right now anyway, so let's just do that, shall we? Let's see here. And I'm gonna use the absolute cleanest water. And yes, there's no minerals in the water. Well, I take that back. I put between 1 and 3 drops of these minerals in a gallon, which is not much. It's very, very little. But the chia seeds have a ton of minerals. And do I think having enough minerals is important? Absolutely. Look, I'm going to give you guys one of my opinions, and this is not to get religious, so people can relax out there, because I know we should never talk religion and politics, right? People get kind of heated. I don't get heated about it. I'm fine. I don't get upset. If somebody disagrees with me, hey, we can agree to disagree. I'm totally fine with that. It's no big deal. Humans will never agree on everything. But what I can tell you is my personal belief system, and this is both scientific and spiritual, and that's that the human body, whoever created the human body, so whatever your belief system is about the creator or nature, whatever you want to believe in, okay? But whatever created the human body clearly has a certain level of intelligence and created the human body to have certain structural things, like kind of like a house. And even the ancient scriptures say, the body's a temple, which is, like a house, like a structure. And it needs all these parts. And I kind of just have faith in that. That's one thing. But then on the science side, it clearly shows that the humans need all these nutrients and everything, all the pieces that it needs in order to stay healthy. And by the way, we got the chia seeds, and you have to constantly shake it. Look, you'll see that I'll set it down for a moment here and there, but we're definitely going to need to stay on top of it because it'll start settling, and then it turns into a clumpy mess. We just have to periodically shake it, and then it's going to be fine. And then it will be our magical chia seeds. And so the way that I looked at health, and it's funny because, it's funny, Robert Kennedy was literally just saying basically the same thing I've been saying for a long time. He said that there was a study about health, and it was a study about how long people live, and they were looking into what medicines came out in certain times, like antibiotics came out because we had a huge spike in survival, and this is throughout many, many, many years, right? Okay, this is not like something that just happened. I mean, this is something that happened a while back, and they're trying to see, was it something in modern medicine? What is it that flipped everything where people started living much longer lives? And ultimately, what it came down to, it wasn't anything that modern medicine did, actually. If I would have guessed anything, I would have probably guessed antibiotics, but it turns out even I was wrong on that one. But part of it was all based on my theory of health, which was they started fortifying foods, which means that they started putting nutrients in foods that you're not going to get enough nutrients, guys. It's just not going to happen. Not with the way that the food is grown. I believe that if we grew food differently, yes, it's possible. But we haven't seen food be grown the right way for a very long time. And I don't expect to see it anytime soon. So they fortify foods, and that made a huge difference in people's survival. And that just shows you how important it is for us to have all the pieces that we were designed to have, just like a car. You know, what if it doesn't have a couple lug nuts? You got the most awesome engine, super cool car, and then you're missing a few lug nuts and the wheel just falls off, and there goes that, right? You need every little piece, every little zinc, every little calcium, every little magnesium, but you need proper absorption. You need things to work properly. You just need the human body to be functioning properly. And this smoothie, I mean, literally, this is how crazy my health journey has gotten. This total simple smoothie that I created, and it doesn't have to be exactly like mine. You can just find your own fruits and vegetables. And the clean water and the hydrogen have completely transformed just my body, my health. It has just been unreal. I mean, literally to the point where I have doctors contacting me when they see my blood work. And it was so basic, so simple. All I do is drink the super clean hydrogen water in the morning. And then I make these smoothies and I drink the smoothie for basically breakfast and sometimes lunch. And then that's about it. Beyond that, I just have a healthy dinner, you know? Um, and that's been pretty much it. It's crazy how simple it got. And I kind of wish I would have figured this out sooner because I spent a ridiculous amount of money on, dare I say, stupid health products. I got really upset at myself after spending, because there's always somebody out there, oh, this machine's the best, or this new supplement is the best, and trying all these things. And not to say that some of them aren't good. I'm not saying they're all terrible or anything, because the ones that I found to be the best were just literally a carbon distiller, something that cleans your water, actually truly cleans it all the way. Which, by the way, if you want to find one of those, the ones that I use are American made, higher quality. I do my research, and this one's from a website called mypurewater.com. And again, if you want a discount, it helps support the channel too, but not much, but it helps. By the way, this is not though. I'm going to put this in the smoothie. Not too many people do that. And so you can go to mypurewater.com and use the code uprising144K, and super high quality carbon distiller that will clean your water for, in my opinion, it's going to last a lifetime. I have so many of these different distillers that I've tried, and these guys, the quality on these, for the most part, from what everything I've seen, they've been extremely good. All right, let's see here. Time for a freedom smoothie. There you go. There's Northern Yeti. Good morning, says Internet Explorer. Hey guys, been a while. As I was saying earlier, I don't have a ton of time. If people start walking in, then I'll have to go. But if you guys have questions, this is the time. If not, basically, as I was saying earlier, if you want the ultimate health, it really just comes down to getting, and look, you could break it all down and make it real complicated. You'd be like, well, you need enough, zinc. Oh, you need enough, magnesium. And you just start like, you end up with a cupboard full of stuff. And I kept it more simple. I did the powder that I was talking about. That has really simplified things. And it's mostly avoiding other foods that aren't really good for me. But I mean, periodically I do a cheat day, but my cheat days are not, I wouldn't say that they're the average cheat day, because I know people who think that they're healthy, and I'll spend some time with them and they're like, it's just a little bit here, just a little there. And all of a sudden, it's just a little bit here and there everywhere in everything they do. And I'm like, I don't say anything, but I'm just like, probably not as healthy as you think you are. And that's okay. It doesn't bother me one bit. It's just don't lie to yourself, right? Because that would be, quote unquote, a fundamental issue. Okay, where am I looking for it? Oh, yes, there you are. So, yeah, guys, this is what we're doing. And is it super time consuming, expensive? All things considered, not so bad. But it is gonna cost you a little bit. Now I'm putting a little bit of some of my leftover hydrogen chia seeds. Done with those. And I just realized what I'm forgetting. Some of my more favorite ingredients. It's hard to get boron. I like getting boron in me, so I get sun-dried raisins, soak them in hydrogen water. Okay, Internet Explorer says, hey Greg, not sure if you've been asked already, but what are your thoughts on Dr. Sebi healing incredible diseases with alkaline foods and herbs? Well, yeah, dude. I'm totally down. I like herbs. I think herbs are awesome. She's talking about alkalinizing. That's cool and all, but I tend to just focus on, you know, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. I mean, all the things that I eat are pretty much going into smoothie, to be honest. See, right now we're about to put nuts. These walnuts have been found to be obviously highly anti-cancerous. I enhance them by soaking them in hydrogen water, which I don't think they've ever done a study on that, but they have done studies on soaking certain foods in hydrogen water that I've seen. But I'm totally cool with that. I mean, that's been my technique. Again, no medical advice, but that's been my technique for myself is eliminating all these garbage foods and just eating stuff. One of the interesting ones, and this goes for anybody, no matter what you eat, whatever you believe in, right? Because people's belief systems are also tied a lot with what they eat. The one of the most important things, I really should make a video about this, but for the few in here, the few lucky ones, I'm going to share something really interesting with you because the medical field apparently does know, but they almost never talk about it. I know somebody who recently, and it broke my heart because I think it totally could have been avoided, but whatever, got a heart transplant, right? And when they got this heart transplant, I was shocked to learn that now they told them, look, in order for you to live, in order for you to survive, you're going to need to, when you eat, you can cook the food and you need to eat it in absolutely right away and definitely in less than 2 hours. And I was kind of thinking, well, that's kind of odd. And if you don't do this, you will either die or could die. And I was thinking, holy crap, what? I've never heard of this anybody going through this when they had a heart transplant. But this is ultimately, I pieced it all together and finally figured out, in my personal opinion, why they tell you this, why you will die, and why it all makes sense now, and how we can utilize this knowledge and this information to make ourselves healthier. You don't have to wait to have a heart transplant. And this is ultimately what's going on. Remember, I made a video, and you guys probably didn't see it, but I made a video about endotoxins and the research about endotoxins and how when it's fresh, it's the best. And there's specific foods that have higher levels of endotoxins, which are not good for us. They cause inflammation, and ultimately they appear to lead to disease, including cancer. So that's why you could be quote unquote a vegetarian. You think you're all healthy, but the truth is you're not eating the food, very fresh, or you're just eating a bunch of processed food. You're not going to be healthy. This is what I mean. It doesn't matter how you eat. It just make sure that it's absolutely fresh, right? So some of these, the foods though that are higher risk are actually seafood, so non-fresh seafood and meat. They're the ones that grow the endotoxins much faster and pretty bad. They get pretty nasty. In fact, when they measured canned tuna, canned salmon, just canned seafood, sardines, whatever, it was nasty. I mean, it was bad. The levels were extremely high, almost like dangerously high. And so this is ultimately what's happening with a guy with a heart condition. Now, again, this is just my opinion. So basically, they put this guy on a bunch of immunosuppressant drugs. So they suppress his immune system, right? Because when you get something like a heart transplant, now he wouldn't listen to me. I wish he would have gone on the hydrogen because that would have resolved a lot of, in my personal opinion, a lot of issues for him. So they put him on stuff to suppress his immune system because his body is trying to reject, well, somebody else's heart being put into him, which I'm not going to judge because I understand that people want to live or, will do everything in their power to live. And I think, hey, more power to you. That's great. Whatever you choose to do with your life, I'm not going to judge one way or another, right? You want to get somebody else's heart put in you, go for it. Now, obviously, I had a heart condition myself, and I didn't have to go down that road. I did some things that, to be honest, I did not think would work, and they did work. And even my cardiologist was pretty blown away by that one. So, moving on. So they suppress his immune system. So the reason that he can't eat food that has been cooked and it's been past 2 hours, in my opinion, is because of the endotoxins. And then these endotoxins, your immune system needs to deal with them. This is why you get the inflammation. You're going to have certain reactions that you may not be noticing. And then you're like, well, how come I'm sick? Like leftovers. Leftovers have a lot more endotoxins in them. It's one of the reasons, I didn't really realize that. I've been trying to eat clean, for quite some time. But now I'm stepping it up even more where I'm trying to go fresh, trying to go as fresh as possible, you know. that's one of the next levels to my little journey here. Now, so this guy taking immunosuppressant drugs, too many endotoxins, apparently, boom, could kill him. And this is one of the reasons that I really, I'm a believer of fresh food, and it reminds me of something that the Japanese do on the regular, really, which is kind of interesting. Is that, and I'm going to be showing this a lot to you guys hopefully in the future because I plan on leaving pretty soon. And they put a lot of the food, they cut up all these vegetables and stuff, and they do a lot of vegetables too, obviously in Japan. And you'll sit down and they'll make like a broth on the table on a little hot pot, and you put the food in there and you literally just blanch it or cook it a little bit, and then you eat it right there at the table as fresh as possible. It's a very big like Japanese thing. They're really into their food, into the freshness, the cleanliness, and of course their food choices are pretty darn amazing. In fact, a lot of people don't talk about the history, and that I just happened to look deep into it because I was curious. I'm a curious guy, by the way, which is why I just learned so many things. And I was curious who in the heck like came up with these ways of eating, because some of their foods are so amazing, like natto. Natto is so incredible. It's that fermented bean I put in the smoothie already. The amount of protein it has, for example, is just about the same as steak, but it also has a ton of fiber, has a bunch of good nutrients, and it has a special enzyme that is found in no food on planet Earth other than natto. And that is that nattokinase, depending on how you want to pronounce it, enzyme, which is pretty special. And the way that it just barely thins your blood out a little bit is actually appears to be really good for you, just so the blood moves a little better. Of course, I combine it with the hydrogen, it just becomes magical, really. And I'm like, who came up with these foods? Who in the world figured out how to do this special fermentation process with beans and so many of this stuff in Japan? I'm like, who comes up with this? And of course, when I dig, the answer almost ends up being the same. Can anybody guess? I'll tell you what, let's see who's listening, or let's see who's even interested, or maybe nobody cares, but somebody guess. Where do you think it almost always comes from? Okay, let's see. And then Dan says, have you ever tried AFA algae food? I haven't, and I don't really have any need to really at this point. I've found what apparently extremely works. I'm not saying that algae, I mean, I eat seaweed, a lot of different types of seaweed. The Japanese have numerous different types that you use in different ways. Some of that type of stuff like spirulina or chlorella type of stuff, I've been consuming that for quite some time. And that's in the powder, by the way. So that's already in the powder that I do use. And I used to buy it separately, but upon doing blood work repeatedly throughout the years, I just found that once I got this new powder, I just didn't need it. So I was like, why spend the money? I just don't need it. And the risk of some impurities, and I've really found this Purium to be, they're really big on purity, and so am I. And that's why I really appreciate what they do. And I truly do love their products. Some of them, which I didn't even, they sent me one that I probably would have never bought, and then I ended up buying a bunch of them because it was so amazing, which was apothecary. That stuff has been, I mean, yes, it's really good for sleeping. So if anybody ever has any trouble sleeping, this stuff is remarkable. And all it is a certain type of cherries. That's all it is. Nothing else, no other ingredients. I love their purity and how they do things. But it also seems to function. I was going to do a video on this. I haven't done it yet. It functions as an NSAIDs, I believe that's what it's, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, something like that. Very similar to ibuprofen. And it's cherries. I'm like, hey, that's cool too, because I know a lot of people who pop ibuprofen, and this gives you other options if you want to take a different route. Let's see here. What do we got room for? I think we're done with carrots. And we're going to put a little less of the chia. Whoa, Jiminy Christmas. Look at that. Okay, we're going to have a lot of chia seeds in there today, guys. Whoops. Massive amounts of calcium, minerals, protein, omegas, all that stuff. Oh, well. And they have massive amounts of fiber. I got to give it that. And you know what? A lot of people don't realize less than 3% of Americans get the minimum amount of fiber required by the human body. I mean, we're talking the minimum. I wonder how many people actually get the amount of fiber that we truly need. I'm not even sure if I do. And I consume, well, quite a bit of these wonderful fibers. And I don't mean like a fiber supplement, by the way. I'm talking about fiber because the Japanese have discovered the fiber from fruits and vegetable, guys, is very different than just some random fiber supplement. So let me do this. Let me finish filling this up with a little hydrogen water, and I'm going to show you guys a few of the last ingredients that I'm going to put in here that, in my opinion, have helped me a great deal. And when I'm gone, I don't know if I'll be able to consume them while I'm gone, but this is a beautiful thing about the human body. You know, if you put nutrients and all these good stuff, it builds up. So you can build up a lot of nutrients in the body. So that way, when you go without them for a while, you're going to be fine. So it's not like I'm going to go out without all nutrients. I'm not doing a fast or anything at this time, though I will be doing one in the future. And here we go. Concentrates minerals. I'm adding it to all this food because I know the food's deficient in minerals. See, I don't really add it to my water. I barely put any in my water, but I actually put it in the smoothie and pairs with the fiber. And now we're going to blend it. It's going to get a little noisy, and then I'll answer some of your questions. And then we will say goodbye. Now let's see if this can actually blend it. That's the big question mark here. Can this thing blend it? I got so many blenders. All right, here we go. Well, it didn't blend it at all. That's a first. Let's try it one more time. All right, not impressed. Let's see. Come on. Okay. If it doesn't blend, this is what I do. Take a little towel and just make the stuff drop down a little bit to where the blades are. Let's try that again. There we go. Now I can feel it. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, you're about to see the magic. Here it comes. There you go. It's definitely blending it there. Okay, now I'm going to grab some jars and some nutrients while this thing blends. Make sure that top doesn't come off. I've had that happen way too much lately, so I feel like I can't take my eyes off that thing. And we're going to grab a few of the last nutrients to basically make this like the ultimate nutrient or multivitamin, or I don't even know what to call it. You know what, guys? Give me a comment. Somebody let me know what you think I should call this. It gives you all your fiber, gives you all your minerals, all your vitamins, amino acids. I mean, it gives you everything. I don't know what else. I don't know what to call it. The everything smoothie? I don't know. You got the whole world. In this smoothie, you got the whole wide world. And then I'm going to show you a few last magic ingredients just to bring this daddy home. This thing is going to be magical. You got the whole wide world. All right, here we go. The ultimate nutritional smoothie here. Let's cut these with a little bit of hydrogen water because it's going to enhance the smoothie. I know. And I already consumed the hydrogen water empty stomach. That's part of the protocol. But now we're going to go with the second part of my protocol. Let's see here. A little bit of hydrogen smoothie. Let's make sure this is blended up. There you go. And look at all the water that's in here. Because all these fruits and vegetables. Let's see. I can still feel it chopping up some stuff. Almost there. Come on, dang it. Just try it and see. All right, so you can see how much water is in this thing from all the fruits and vegetables, how much fiber, how much minerals. Oh, we got way more protein than steak in this smoothie. I'll tell you that right now. Just the natto alone. All right, let's see. Oh yes, look how smooth that is. Beautiful, beautifully creamy. Oh, you know what? I just remembered. We got a ton of chia seeds in here today. We're gonna see what that tastes like. We're about to find out, people. Okay. Does taste good today. Okay, let's see here. Somebody said, wow. Okay. Oh, there you go. Terry was right. Monks. You're absolutely correct. That's exactly where it always comes down to. It's like the monks invented this. The monks invented it. All this stuff that's super good for you. Okay, now this particular nutrient I'm about to put in. This smoothie is awesome, but it's short on this guy. This is not in the purine powder. This is in almost no food unless it gets fortified in. And even then, most Americans are highly deficient in this nutrient, and that's ionic D3 with K2. And again, ionic, in my opinion, is the best with D3 and K2, other than just the natural food itself. But the natural foods that have these nutrients are, in my personal opinion, highly polluted these days. You're just not going to get it from there. So I put it in the smoothie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's about 7,000 IUs. According to the bottle, I'm going to guess it's probably about 5. But hey, I'm probably wrong. I'm sure the bottle's right. And then this one's just chlorophyll. Again, this one was actually it's not necessary. I just happened to receive it as a gift. And because of that, I'm just going to throw a splash in there. And I do enjoy it, though. I've enjoyed that product way more than I thought I would also. All right, here we go. So now what we do, we're almost done. We pretty much have almost all the ingredients we're going to need. And we finished mixing it. That's why I only put half of it in there. Okay, we're about to see how it tastes today with a massive amount of chia seeds that I absolutely accidentally dropped in there. I tell you what, why don't we do this today? Nope, I need that. Okay, let me go grab one then. I need a lid here. I normally vacuum seal my smoothies, but I'm going to be giving this one to somebody, so I'm not going to vacuum seal this one. And then we're going to have a few moments. Excuse me. Now, this is hemp hearts. This stuff looks like a multivitamin all by itself. I mean, we're talking about nutrients. Well, we got vitamin B6, we have niacin, thiamine, vitamin E, potassium, iron, calcium, copper, zinc, magnesium, manganese, phosphorus, folate. I mean, this stuff is just off the charts. And there's no ingredients in here other than just hemp hearts. There's no added sugars or colors or whatever. God knows why. I don't understand why they need to add colors to stuff. It's like, can you just show me the natural color of whatever it is? I'm good with that, guys. I'm good with that. Okay, let's try it out. That's quite good. Wow. What did I do today? Oh, I put 2 bananas. I don't know. You guys saw the whole video. Tastes fantastic. Okay, now last ingredient is my hydrogen. I like to inhale it while I eat. Combat any little things, any endotoxins, any oxalates, whatever. Protection of hydrogen. Okay, let's see if we can answer some questions here. And then we'll see how much time I have. Okay, so you were right, it was monks. Northern Yeti said China started natto. Really? Okay, I have to research that. Monks in China. Oh, there you go. Northern Yeti's like Japan, I mean. Yeah, that's right. Heck, I don't know. I've read both, he says. Okay. Can cherries whole be good for sleep as well? Probably, but they have to be a specific type of cherry. And you need a certain amount. That's why it's so concentrated. But you probably don't want to eat a whole giant bowl of cherries every night. I don't know. Northern Yeti says, some historians even trace natto's origins to similar soybean ferments during the Chinese Shou dynasty, arriving in Japan in the Yayoi period. Greg, do you think hydrogen helps prevent sunburn? I've been getting a lot of sun in Alabama and rarely even get red. Yes, actually, it's interesting that you bring that up because I have not made any videos about it and I've never mentioned it on camera. But yes, I have see, the radiation that you get from the sun, hydrogen protects you so much. I think it's actually protecting you and you actually get more benefits from the sun because you use hydrogen.
Very interesting observation, Northern Yeti, but yes, I completely agree with you. Internet Explorer, and I haven't been getting burned either. I've been adding natto to my smoothies for almost a year now, and I can eat it straight from the container. Yep, now you develop the palate. It's like my brain made my taste buds like the taste of natto. Well, it's not so much your brain as much as your gut. Your gut is connected to your tongue and your mouth and your, your taste buds. So yeah. Just like kimchi and sauerkrauts and these smelly stuff. Do you use sunscreen, Greg? Actually, I don't. Maybe I should, but I just don't. Delicious. Just a lot of antioxidants, to protect myself as much as I can, and the hydrogen. Solomon, hello, Greg. Happy to see another live. Thanks for helping or keeping the good work. Have an awesome day. You too, brother. Kathy says, what a process for the day. All those smoothies. Which filter did you recommend? Oh, water filter. It's from mypurewater.com. It's actually right there. It's making my water right there. See how it just takes hours to make a super clean gallon of water. And mypurewater.com, discount code uprising144K. Any of their systems, they got a bunch of prices, but they're all make the same quality of water. Love always says, hi Greg, what is good source of boosting testosterone? I made a whole video on it, which is basically leg exercises or walking, make sure you get all your nutrients, and boron. Boron. That combination, I've been doing it and it's working. Boron has been so amazing. I put it in the smoothies. Now I'm only putting raisins, but I used to put boron liquid in there. Northern Unit says, that's interesting about the gut changing your taste. Yeah, that's absolutely it. Well, at least that's my theory. I'd have to do research. I always wonder why cravings for junk go away when you eat healthy. Yeah, that's right, because the food that you eat literally transforms your gut. And you'll stop craving it. That's why it's hard to stop at first, but eventually you can get off of it. And B-Man says, happy 4th. Let's go, Brandon. Yeah, about time, huh? Brandon the clown is what I've heard. Little red nose on him. Maybe, yeah, I think he's done. That guy. I don't even know who Brandon is, but whoever it is, I've heard that people are not real happy with him. Nadika, big hello Jello from Ohio. Hello, Ohio, and happy 4th of July. Big hello, Ohio. Oh, Ohio. I see. I'm going to guess she was trying to say it in Japanese. Ohio gozaimasu. All right, so this thing turned out good today. And maybe I'm putting too much fruit. I put the blueberries, 2 bananas, raisins. Maybe that's a little much fruit, but I gotta say, it's delicious. The hemp hearts, they're so impressive. They really when you look at the nutrition in these guys, it's so impressive. And they're one of the most well-balanced proteins in the world because of, well, it says right here, because of the well-balance of omega-3s and 6s. Haha, Nadika, yep. I kind of guessed it, girl. Thank you for that. 10 grams of protein for how many servings? Let's see. Let's hear. 10 grams of protein for 3 tablespoons. Wow, that's impressive. Let's see how much steak has. 3 tablespoons of steak. That'll be interesting. Beef. How much protein does 3 tablespoons of steak have? That'll be interesting. I don't know about it being well balanced though. Oh yeah, it's got quite a bit. Let's see. Steak is a thick blah blah blah. Steak. Oh, okay, hold on. That's grams. I gotta find the right measurement. They're doing this in grams. Well, okay, how many grams in a tablespoon? Jeez, how many grams in a tablespoon? 21.25. So, 21.25, I need my calculator here. That's gonna be about 10 times, so times 3. So that would be, what? Really? Hold on a second, that can't be right. Anybody good at math here? Let's see here. 1 tablespoon is 21.25 grams. I'm trying to figure out, it takes 251 grams of steak to get 62 grams of protein. But with this here, they're measuring it with 3 tablespoons, which is 21.2. I must have a calculator on here. I'm not a computer guy, by the way, guys. I don't know what to do on these computers. And my phone is, let's see, calculator. There we go. Okay, here we go. I got my calculator. Okay. You guys want to hear this? This is going to be interesting. 21.25 times 3 would be 63 grams. And they're using 251. So what we need to do is divide this. Let's see, let's go 251 divided by, let's just see what numbers we come up here for a second. Okay, so if we divide it, oh, that's pretty close. So we divide it by 4, so let's see, we go. So roughly steak for the same amount. Okay, so this has roughly about 10 grams of protein for 3 tablespoons, and steak would have roughly about 13. So pretty close. It's pretty close to steak. Wow. But then I got the natto in here, and that's crazy too. So anyway, let's see. Diane says, I tried a mineral sunscreen this year. Oh boy. And it does work. Oh, really? It doesn't blend into the skin as good, but I'm fine with that. Yeah, if it works. Wow, I didn't think a mineral would work. Kathy says, do you ever feel like chewing on something instead of drinking your food? Well, I do. I chew on these guys when they're in my smoothie. So yeah. And as far as chewing, I always have a solid meal every day. This is just breakfast. And if I want to have something besides this, which I kind of rarely do, but if I wanted to, I would have oatmeal, probably with cinnamon, raisins, and a little raw honey. Do you think air conditioners are good for our health? What? It's 90 degrees where I live and keep the AC on almost 24/7. I'm nuts. Well, I definitely don't think it's good. I almost never use it. I'll open the windows, I'll try to enjoy the heat, but I understand that some people are sensitive to heat, will get heat stroke, maybe aren't even properly hydrated, whatever it is. And plant protein, way to go for sure, says Nadika. Seems to be the case according to the data. But I don't think like I'm on one way or the other. Like if I'm sick, yeah, I gotta do a certain type of diet. But I also listen to my body. So periodically, I would say sometimes once to twice a year, it just depends. I'll feel like I need something. Like I'll have like an egg. I just had an egg the other day. Hadn't had an egg for quite a while. And I'll do that once in a while. I would be open to it, though I won't do it for myself, but if I was a normal person, I would do probably like maybe a really clean lamb or beef or buffalo, like a vegetarian animal. They're the cleanest. I would probably do more like a soup, so the broth, but I mean, I wouldn't be against eating something like that once a year, twice a year, but for me, I won't. That's just for other reasons. But for an average person who wants to be healthy, I don't see anything wrong with that personally. I think it's about balance. I definitely think that the body needs a lot more plants and vegetables than most people consume. I'm gonna grab more smoothie. This is really good. Came out really good today. Yeah, no, I've gotten quite used to drinking my breakfast. It's kind of nice. It's kind of like people who just drink coffee for breakfast and then go and grab a donut. Or, of course, then they get a sausage McMuffin and chew on that, I guess. Okay. So, yeah, I don't think air conditioning is good. It really dries you out. But, hey, if you need it, you need it, right? Well, if it's hot, it's hot. This really turned out good today. I do say, though, I'm using the bigger blender because I'm sharing the smoothie with people. But I do miss the vacuum blender, and I've been using that a lot lately. And I actually prefer the vacuum blender for sure. But it is a little more work. But otherwise, it's quite fantastic. Okay, guys. Any last questions before I say goodbye? Good to see you, Numbnuts. Good to see you, Tadika. Northern Yeti, Diane. B-Man. Love always. Solomon as usual. Terry, of course. Internet Explorer, all you guys. Good to see you guys. You're going to be seeing me in the near future. I won't be around here. Let's see. Nadika says, I just don't like the smell of animal products anymore for some reason. Makes me sick. You know, I got to agree with that. When I smell meat, sometimes it's like, bleh. Especially pork, though. Even though I love pork, ate it, you know, basically all my life. And but I get it. You know, nobody needs to be upset about what other people choose, right? If somebody wants to eat plants, hey. If somebody wants to eat beef, whatever you guys like, you know. Q Apple says, hi, what do you clean distiller with? I have some same distiller as you. How do I clean the lime scale? You want to either contact the company and ask their opinion because they sell something called Lumen. I believe they also say you can clean it with apple cider, or I'm sorry, with vinegar, I believe. But usually I use citric acid to clean distillers. That's what I personally use typically. But you're going to want to ask the company because it depends on the distiller sometimes. Mine has stayed so clean because the water that I use in it, because I do basically a double filtration process and it keeps my distiller so clean. I put RO water in mine. The thing just stays so clean, I don't need to worry about it. Northern Yeti says, have a good one. I'm going to visit you in Japan. Well, let me know, Northern Yeti. You can email me. You going to Japan soon? Yes, it certainly appears to be the case, guys. So stay tuned because I'm going to open up a new channel just for that, where I'm going to talk with you guys about a lot of the subjects that you've been wanting me to talk about that I kind of won't on this channel. So stay tuned for that. Phil says, happy 4th. Hey, Phil. Happy 4th to you, my friend. Nadika says, always go to see you too. Oh, always good to see you too. H-Man. All right, Nadika. Thank you. Numnut says, my favorite fruits are prickly pears. I can eat them all day. I do like me a good pear. In fact, there's a pear tree back here, and it is fabulous. So fabulous. Terry says, good luck. Well, thank you. I'm not buying any lottery tickets anytime soon, but thank you, thank you. It's so good, I might finish the whole thing. My goodness, I really will like this today. Okay, guys, I'm gonna guess no last questions. Kathy Rennick says, would be nice if we had hydrogen drink stands made fresh for us. Well, you know, I could. The only problem is that I don't think that enough people would care or even know. But I would do a hydrogen drink stand, I guess. I know they have machines in Japan like that. I'll be showing it to you guys. What's the first thing you'll do in Japan? First thing I'll do is walk off the plane. I don't know. I mean, the first thing that I want to do, maybe that's different than the first thing I will do. And Q Apple says, thank you. Do you use Loom? But I want something that is natural. I like listening to you. I would contact the company, mypurewater.com, and ask them, just because I don't want to give you the wrong advice. But I'm pretty confident you can use vinegar. I've never done it, but I'm pretty sure they recommend it. So try that out. And yeah, as far as the first thing in Japan, well, let's see. What I really want to do, this is kind of one of the main reasons I'm going there. There's so many things actually that I want to do. But they have this hot spring that I know of and cold spring side by side. And going back and forth, guys, I don't know if this happens to everybody. And this is one of those subjects that I said I won't talk about on this channel, so I won't go too deep into it. But there's certain things that it's doing to your body biologically. And if you have the right state of mind, so the right frame of mind, if they sold smoothies people would buy. You think so? I mean, I could sell these, but they're not going to be cheap. I'll tell you that much. Much cheaper to make yourself than have somebody do it for you. But because, you know, if I spent all day making smoothies. But yeah, I mean, I would do a smoothie stand. Yeah, so this hot and cold with the right technique creates this like meditative place that is so amazing, to the point where I will travel halfway around the world to do that. And I will be doing it when I'm there at least 2 to maybe even 3 times a day, which is quite a bit. And that's one of the biggest reasons that I'm going there, is for that. But I'm also going to be, unfortunately, I mean, I'll do videos probably so you guys can check out everything that I'll be doing. But yeah, things are going to be a little different over there. Let's see. Thank you. I love Japan. I used to live in Okinawa. Oh, people are so nice. Well, yeah, that's one of the things that I love about Japan is kindness. If you don't agree about something, people don't get all weird and fight. And, you know, they're wonderful people. What about New Zealand? Heard it's beautiful. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sure there's different places on the planet that one could go to. This one has been calling to me since before I even knew what Japan was. When I was a little kid, I didn't even know about Japan or Asia or China. I didn't know anything about that side of the world. And somehow, maybe it was a past life, I gotta say, because some very weird things have happened to me in regards to that, and things I probably won't go into in this channel, but yeah, definitely, that's the place that I'm going to be going for numerous reasons, and it's my favorite. All right, guys. Any last questions? I'm going to grab. Oh, I really want to grab more smoothie, but I know I should probably save it for somebody else. So, okay. Well, if there's no more questions, I'm going to say goodbye. Time to say goodbye. Okay, good hanging with you guys. Hope I answered your questions. Not that, I don't know if anybody really had well, it doesn't matter as long as you guys got the information you needed. What flavor Purium powder do you use? I like the appleberry. In fact, here, let me just grab it. I'll show you guys. I'll put this one away too. Okay, this one's the one that I'm using. And this is the one that I like the most. Power Shake is the one that I use as a multivitamin, basically. And it's the, let's see, apple berry flavor one. Now the tough part is they have a nutritional label here, and it's so hard to, they did not make that part good, did they? They did not make this label easy to remove, which I kind of, ooh, did I get it? it takes me a while. I have another one that I literally just keep whenever I want to look at the nutrients because I found that these are just super tricky. Maybe I should go grab my scissors. My magic scissors. Look at this. I can't even get this thing. Let's see here. We talked about hydrogen and sunburn. That was informative. That's true. And you know, like I said, that's actually super, super interesting that you're mentioning that. I should do an experiment with someone who spends, I mean, I go out in the sun, but I need to talk to somebody who maybe spends a ridiculous amount of time in the sun. Actually, wait a second. I do know somebody who spends a ton of time in the sun, and he uses the hydrogen quite regularly. I'm going to ask him if he's been using sunscreen and what he's noticed. That's going to be interesting, Northern Yeti, because I had a suspicion about that. It's just like something called red light therapy. Red light therapy, there's certain things that use like almost like a certain type of radiation, you know, and you know, this, like I said, the sun has radiation. We get kind of a certain amount of radiation naturally, and I just had a very strong gut feeling that hydrogen would be protective, because it seems to be protective about just almost everything, which is very impressive. It's one of the reasons that I like to use it, just for that. If it wasn't anything else, if it just protected you, I would do that because of all the things that we're encountering these days, all the chemicals, all the crazy stuff that we put in our body. Okay, Love Always says, that's amazing. Nice that you are following your life path. That's inspiring. Oh, thanks, Love Always. You know what? I'm actually doing it just the way I did this YouTube channel. I'm actually doing it for people, believe it or not. Some people may be like, oh, you're doing it just for you. You'd probably be a little surprised to know that if I really went into it, which obviously I'm not going to here on this channel, I'm actually really doing it for others. There's some things that I've uncovered that, just like this stuff that I uncovered with health, there's some other things that I uncovered, and I uncovered them a long time ago, and I've been kind of looking into it for a very long time. Getting sick kind of did not help. You know, wow, this is crazy. Can you believe this? I cannot get this thing off of here. It's so stuck. You know what? I tell you what. I'm gonna grab the one here. I'll show you. Kathy says, I bought Purium and haven't used any. Oh, what? Have no clue what to mix it with. All the same flavor, took her recommendations. All the same flavor, took her recommendations. Were you a samurai in your past life, says Solomon? Not from what I saw. Whoops. Okay, now I just kind of said it, didn't I? Let's just say that I have seen some of my past lives, as crazy as that may sound. And I was, of all things, I was a monk. I was not a warrior, a samurai warrior, you know. Some people would probably, you know, people try to think like, they're like, oh, you know, I want to be this. I used to be Cleopatra, or I used to be a samurai warrior. Or I used to be, you know, they, you know, like to choose the things that they like. For me personally, I didn't really get a choice. I've been a certain way since I was little, and I got lucky enough to see a little bit of some past lives, as they might call it. And yeah, I was trying to do the same thing that I'm trying to do in this lifetime. Can you believe that? I'm doing the same thing. Hey, look, guys, I think I might have gotten it. Boy, how long did that take, huh? Look at this. I did it. I did it. Look, Daddy. Oh, the nutritional label. I'll show you guys in a second. Wow, somebody just gave me $19.99. Well, that was very kind. Who in the heck did that? Q Apple. Thank you. You are full of knowledge. Well, thank you so much. Wow. The thought means a lot. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Let's see. Terry says, more like a monk. Yeah, that was exactly what I was. Yeah. I saw that I was, and I was literally able to connect to the person I once was, and it just blew my mind. I was like a whole different person. But I always have the same heart. That seems to be the thing. I always have the same heart. I do care about people a great deal. I only want the best for people, and that's all I got to say about that. Okay, Internet Explorer says, hey Greg, can you take the cherry oil every night without having sleep issues? I took melatonin for 5 days straight and it causes insomnia. Well, I don't know. But the cherries have natural melatonin. So I would stop with the pills, whatever you're doing, and I would just do the natural cherry. You know, I've shown it to you guys, right? I have it right here if you want to see it. But this was the nutritional label for this, and obviously all the ingredients are food. But if you look, the one that I told you guys, vitamin D has 0. And I was telling you, vitamin D is the one thing you just cannot get in proper levels from food. But then it has calcium, iron, potassium, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin K. Boy, I tell you, I must get way more than enough vitamin K because thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, B6, folate, B12. Wow, tons of B12, and that's an important nutrient. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, even iodine. It's got natural iodine. That's awesome. Really good levels of magnesium, zinc, selenium, copper. Yeah, I mean, this is like a multivitamin. I'm really, really like this stuff. All right, let's make sure we don't stick that back on there. Okay, Northern Yeti. So now we know who really created natto. Yeah, I doubt I did, but I gotta say, there's these Japanese that create some of the most amazing natto in Japan. And I am gonna do my best to get my hands on it. Get myself some natto. That stuff's just crazy. Love that stuff. Well, and it's a good thing this stuff doesn't have to be refrigerated from what I can see. Obviously, that's probably why they dried it. Does it say it need to be refrigerated? Let's see. Remove the label prior to composting. Oh, what? You can compost this thing? No, wait, hold on a second. Committing to freeing our planet for plastic pollution. Our new target is home compostable or compostable and excludes traditional plastic scoops. Remove the label prior to composting? Wow. Are they telling me I can take this label off and compost this stuff? What? What? That can't be right. Keep out of reach of children. never. And look, suggested use. Somebody was saying they don't know what to mix it with. It says mix 5.5 tablespoons with 10 to 20 ounces of cold water or your favorite non-dairy creamy beverage. Take on an empty stomach 1 to 4 times per day. Yeah, that'll get you your nutrients. Bex mixed in a shaker, cup, or bottle. Great prior to or during and after exercise activity. Blah, 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 blah. Look at that. And see, this is what I like. I like what the company actually wrote. This is one of the reasons I really love this company. They said it's Purium. It says pure and premium. Like premium quality. It says we created Purium products using 6 core values. By living these each day, we believe great change is possible, blah, blah, blah. Quality and upholding of the highest standards, organic, gluten-free, completely plant-based. Yep, I'm a fan, I'm a fan. Okay, guys, well, thanks again for everything. My little inhalation session just ended. And I'm gonna go and package up the rest of the smoothie that I made, and we'll put it away. Oh wow, was worth the hard work peeling it off. Oh. All right, guys, thanks for hanging. I'll see you guys next time on the next one.